there's a job that I've been putting off for well over a year now, which is sorting out this area at the top of my garden. The shed has become a bit of a dumping ground and it really needs a good sort out. This area in front of the shed is what I call my junk pile of shame. Lots of building materials here, none of which have a home. As we often have a lot of dangerous stuff laying around in this top section of the garden, and because baby Brown has recently started crawling and it won't be long before he starts walking, I think it makes sense to segregate it from the rest of the garden, so I want to add some kind of gate here too. And whenever I have a job that I'm not particularly excited about doing, I like to start with the quick wins. A few weeks ago, I laid these second-hand paving slabs down in this space behind our shed because I thought this would be a really nice space to make better use of. So I've picked up some of these hooks and I think these are going to be really good for storing my ladders.
I got those screwed into the studs behind the cladding. I'll leave a link to the ones I bought in the description box below. And that's quick win number 1 complete, and as these ladders are aluminium, they'll be quite happy to live outside. For quick win number 2, just around the corner I have another similar area that I can make use of, so I ended up buying more of the same hooks. And I can use these to store all my pipes and stuff, which are currently mostly buried in the garden, so I need to pull out some impressive weeds first. And I can't delay the inevitable any longer, it's time to clear up this mess. The ground levels here were all over the place, so I'm using a fork and a rake to try and flatten it all out.
Right, that's my little building supplies area sorted, and I've got the ground in front of it nice and level. Right, now onto something a little bit more interesting and enjoyable. I want to build a gate, and I want it to be right here, but this opening is already quite narrow and I don't want to make it more narrow. So what I want to do is basically carve away some of this hedge to create space for my posts.
As I was doing this, I found the remnants of an old trellis, which I never knew was there.
Somewhere in here I have some salvaged posts. These are pressure treated, so that's good, and they've got a few nail holes in them, but that doesn't really bother me.
I hate digging, so I'm using my garden auger bit that goes in my drill, which makes it really quick and easy. I'll leave a link to this below too. And generally you want about 1/3 of the post to be in the ground to make sure that it's nice and strong, so that's what I'm going for here.
Right, I've got my holes dug out to 450 millimeters.
Now to get my posts prepared, and I tilted my circular saw to 45 degrees and mark up the length, and then make a series of cuts to form a point at the top so that rainwater can't sit on top of the post, which would cause it to rot. I'm not going to bother adding any treatment here. If you watched my video about testing wood treatments, then you'll know why. This is some sharp sand I'm using here, but I threw in a handful of 20mm gravel, which will add a bit more strength.
I'm going to do a 4-to-1 mix of concrete.
I put about 50mm of concrete in first so that the post is not in contact with soil, because that's where all the bugs live that are going to eat it away and destroy it. And at the bottom of the post I'm forming the concrete so that the rain will run away from the post. I can then check the distance at the top and bottom to help me design my gate, and I couldn't quite believe this, but I got the exact same reading, millimetre perfect. And even though I was careful getting them plumb, I'm sure that was more luck than judgment.
Right, while I'm waiting for the concrete to cure, it's time to start focusing on organising the shed, and I've got a couple of really good ideas about storing things like bicycles. And as I do that, I want to tell you about Durable, who are kindly sponsoring a portion of this video. Durable is an AI website building tool, allowing you to quickly and easily generate a fully customizable website for your business or hobby, and no coding, technical or design skills are required. Plans start from just $12 a month, and for that you'll get a free custom domain name, access to 10 million stock images, unlimited CRM contacts and blog articles, and email support from Durable's in-house customer support team. It's probably been about 8 or 9 years now since I started the website for my business, and I found the process so incredibly complicated and time consuming that I ended up paying someone to create the website for me. And I wish that tools like Durable were available back when I started. These days, an online presence is the best first step that aspiring entrepreneurs can take. So to have a go at building your website for free, go to durable.co/Keith. And once you're ready to publish your website, you can use my promo code Keith30 to get 30% off any of their plans. We don't use our bikes very often, so what I want to do is store them right at the back of the shed, but I want to store them upright like this against the wall. And I've seen this thing in a John Peters video that looks really easy to make, so that's what I'm going to try and do.
So I have 3 pieces of 12mm ply here, measurements of which I'll put on screen if you want to make something similar. I apply glue to the wrong area first, before realising my mistake, wiping it away and applying it to the right area. A few pin nails will hold things together until the glue cures, and I decided to add a top piece too, which will just help to make this assembly more rigid. Then I can drill a couple of 16mm holes using an auger bit, and again measurements for this are on screen. A couple of screws to secure this to the frame of my shed, and then I can try it out. And I have some dowel here measuring 15mm, which I can use as my pin. And I made another one of these for my wife's bike. As usual, it's the simple ideas that are the best. I bought even more of these hooks that I used previously in the video because I have quite a few long pieces of metal that I want to store up here at the top of the wall. Next is a solution for my lawnmower that's embarrassingly simple, a 2x2 screwed to the floor, which allows the lawnmower to be stored upright. There's even space for the grass collection bag to remain fixed to it. I did end up cutting another board though, just to sit behind and support the rear wheels against the wall. Now on to storing my garden tools. I'm marking up here to make a simple rack to store them all horizontally, and again I'll put the dimensions on screen if you want to recreate this. I need to notch out the back so that I can fit it to the inside of these studs. A simple dowel screwed into the studs beneath this rack is a good place for a few of my other garden tools. Right, now let's get that gate built. I'm going to use salvaged roof battens for this. First, these 50x25mm ones for the frame, and I'll do some half-lap joinery. So everything is held together with polyurethane glue, which I'll leave a link to below. The pin nails were just to hold things together temporarily while the glue cures. I'll be using some stainless steel nails to secure things properly later. And I've got some smaller 40x18mm salvaged roof battens that I can use to clad the front of the gate. That's it done, but something is missing. Finally, I'm adding some raw linseed oil, which will help repel moisture from the gate.
So it's been about 4 years since I built this shed, and it was handmade from scratch. I've got a full series of videos about it, which I'll leave a link to in the description box below. I also did a follow-up video covering some of the issues I had in the first couple of years since building it, but since then it's been great. Now that I've got everything organised, I'll give you a quick tour. This filing cabinet over here I use for things like fabrics and foam. I'm not a hoarder, but when it comes to project materials, I do tend to keep a lot of them because you never know when stuff like this might come in handy. These are my long lengths of metal. I also have some medium and short lengths, which I'll come on to shortly. The garden tool rack worked out well, but then I realised I hadn't left space for this tool, the Matic, so I've just got that on some hooks at the moment. I think these bike racks are going to work out brilliantly. And I've got lots of nails, hinges and hardware up here, which I don't use very frequently, but I do like to store them in glass coffee jars because then I can immediately see what's in each of them. Various bits and pieces over here, things like plant pots. I'm not much of a gardener, to be honest. I've got a sheet materials rack for things that I don't use that frequently, things like glass, tiles, chipboard, OSB. Underneath this bench turned out to be the perfect place to store this metal racking, and I've got things like rope, chain and string in the top section, medium lengths of aluminium and brass in the middle, and on the bottom, medium lengths of steel. This plate compactor I'm borrowing from a friend, so it's going back to him soon. I had a lot of these old toolboxes which I wasn't using for anything, so I've used these as a place to stash other bits and pieces that are small. So things like small bits of metal, gutters and downpipe, vents, brackets and tiling equipment. And it's really nice to finally have all of this stuff organised. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.